from Epiphany Episcopal Church, and I'm Father Chris, the priest here at Epiphany. And I'm honored to respond to Bishop Bob's address. Our bishop has laid out in his convention address areas in our common life that we should ponder together, not only in our common life as the Episcopal Church in Hawaii, but as individual Christians. By laying before us the Canticle of Creatures by St. Francis, he's given us a spiritual roadmap to take with us on our journey. A roadmap that would deepen us individually and corporately in the areas that he has addressed. Maybe the word areas is not the right word. I think the word is too soft, and maybe goals is not adequate in a time that we're in. Maybe the word challenges is the best word to use. The bishop has laid out 5 challenges to us. Either we accept them, ignore them, or reject them. We have to make a decision. And I say that we accept them and try our best with God's help in each of our congregational contexts to meet these challenges. Understanding that if we work together as one ohana, we can meet each challenge together. But as we do this work, we must do it in a Christ-centered way and not in our own way. At the end of the day, it's not about you. It's not about me. It's not even about the bishop. It's about God and his Son, Jesus Christ our Lord. Blessings to you all.
Aloha. My name is Roth Puahala. I am the junior warden and verger at the Cathedral Church of St. Andrews in Honolulu. I was asked to comment on the bishop's message, and 2 words came to me, these Hawaiian words we have always heard: aloha and malama. Aloha, to learn what is not said, to see what cannot be seen, and to know the unknowable. Alo means the presence, to join, to be with one. Ha means life-giving breath, the essence of life, the divine spirit. So aloha means the art and spirit of giving and not expecting anything in return, and to receive and not to forget to give back. And Tipilahi Paki is remembered as the greatest user of aloha. It was a way of life for her. She, along with Elvin Shim, helped to write and pass the Aloha Law, Hawai'i Revised Statute 5-7.5. In the contemplation and presence of life force, may I share with you the free translation from Antipaki. The letter A in Aloha stands for akahai, meaning kindness, to be expressed with tenderness. Expanded to mean a commitment of the well-being of others without any conditions or circumstances, and being kind to others and learning how to deal with conflict in a positive way. The letter L in aloha stands for lokahi, meaning unity, to be expressed with harmony. Expanded to mean balance and harmony in your life with yourself, others, and nature. O stands for olu, meaning agreeable, to be expressed with pleasantness. Expanded to mean seek first to understand, then to be understood, and talk to people, not about people. H stands for ha'aha, meaning humility, to be expressed with modesty. And A stands for ahonui, meaning patience, to be expressed with perseverance. Expanded to mean having patience with yourself and with others. Ma'alama is one that gives back. The relationship between people and place grows stronger every time you malama. When you give back to the land, the ocean, the forest, your community, you're part of a virtuous circle that enriches everything and everyone, including your experience as a member of your church. And there's never been a more rewarding time to give back than now. So go back to your church, your vestries, your bishop committees, and create this reformation. Because by participating on every island, you are collaborating with other leaders and members of our church community to create an amazing action for us to Malama, our Vahipana, our sacred place. Malama is to focus on what you want to achieve in spirit, mind, and body. Then do everything possible to help achieve it. Look at the patterns so to know how to care or plan. Malama happens to those who are ready for it. To live with aloha is to have a giving nature. Aloha conquers all. Mahalo, malama, and aloha.
Hello, my name is the Reverend Libby Berman, and I serve as Rector of Church of the Holy Nativity in Ainahaina on Oahu. It's my pleasure to be a part of the team that's offering responses to our Bishop's Convention Address this year. All of the goals listed in the Bishop's Address are important and worthy, and I'm glad that we will be pursuing each and every one of them. Two parts of the address, however, resonated with me most strongly, and I'd like to share those with you. First, with regard to congregational health, the bishop said, "There is no miraculous program or special ad campaign available to help us know how to be strong and how to grow in our congregations. What matters," he said, "is whether you believe that your congregation is a community where lives are transformed and where God's love is experienced." That statement really hit home for me. While we are gathered today as a whole diocese, we know that it is back home in our congregations where we are most at home. That's where we spend most of our time pondering the holy, teaching our children about God, and sharing our joys and our sorrows. That's where, using the words of Eucharistic Prayer C, we find our strength and our renewal. The bishop calls upon us, if we are communities where lives are transformed, which I think all of our congregations are. If so, then we are called very specifically to strengthen those places in our communities where that transformation happens. In your congregation, is there a contemplative prayer group where deep connections are made? Is there an outreach ministry, like a food pantry, where people connect and are deeply moved by God? Or is it in Sunday worship? Wherever it is, we're called to identify those places and help them be strong and healthy. Find the health, in other words, in your congregation, and just let it grow. The second point that resonated most strongly with me from our bishop's address was a point that he made about the urgent need for reconciliation between all of God's people. In his address, Bishop Bob spoke frankly. For too long and too often in our history, our vision for the church led to cajoling God's people toward an ideal of being an upper middle class Western European American. It was an imperialist enterprise for the church within the broader American culture. He went on to say that together with our brothers and sisters across the church, we must face up to our prejudices and biases and reform ourselves. That is perhaps even to break down and to reform or to form again ourselves, our churches, and our larger systems in ways that bring about actual, measurable racial and economic justice. What does this mean? A child at Holy Nativity School on our campus recently said in a chapel video, "Ask yourself what you need. You need food, right? And clothes." And the adults among us might add, and a good education, and good job opportunities, and the list goes on. Now, this young man then said on the chapel video, "Now, just make sure that everyone has all those things too." Sounds simple. Just make sure, he said, that everyone else around you has those things too. It sounds simple, but we know that it's not. The bishop's word reform, to form again, is key. In many cases, we have to remake the way we set up systems, spend money, and make decisions. And reforming is hard and sometimes even personally risky work. But what is at stake is the gospel itself. I believe Bishop Bob's concern is as urgent a one as we have in the church. Indeed, all 5 goals that our bishop mentioned are worthy and significant, and we should work at each of them in such a way that real steps are measured and real results can be celebrated. I pledge my support to this work, and I hope you will join me enthusiastically and earnestly as you can. Thanks for listening to my thoughts today. Have a wonderful rest of convention.
My initial thoughts about Bishop Bob's convention address, particularly in light of the ongoing pandemic, his convention Eucharist sermon, and the reading from 1 Corinthians he quoted, was that the best response was that of the poet Dylan Thomas. And death shall have no dominion. Dead men naked they shall be one, with the man in the wind and the west moon. When their bones are picked clean and the clean bones gone, they shall have stars of elbow and foot. Though they go mad, they shall be sane. Though they sink through the sea, they shall rise again. Though lovers be lost, love shall not, and death shall have no dominion. And death shall have no dominion. Under the windings of the sea, they lying long shall not die windily. Twisting on racks when sinews give way, strapped to a wheel, yet they shall not break. Faith in their hands shall snap in two, and the unicorn evils run them through. Split all ends up, they shan't crack, and death shall have no dominion. And death shall have no dominion. No more may gulls cry at their ears, or waves break loud on the seashores. Where blew a flower, may a flower no more lift its head to the blows of the rain. Though they be mad and dead as nails, heads of the characters hammer through daisies. Break in the sun till the sun breaks down, and death shall have no dominion. But the bishop also talked about where the diocese goes from here, what we must do in the new post-pandemic situation. Given his love for Franciscan spirituality, my response is the prayer attributed to St. Francis. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it's in giving that we receive, it's in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it's in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen.